got my spices. Good boy.
Okay, so we should be starting up, and I need to get up with us this way. Okay. So, Shabbat Shalom, and I'm going to be sharing a story with you this evening that is related to the Torah portion of this past Shabbat of Noach. So when we were, and you will note that this is a modern midrash. So for those of you who are in Torah study this morning, they've taken liberties, which does happen in midrash, that sometimes you don't have things exactly as they are, but you get a little more creative with it. So, but I still think it's a nice one and offers us some nice possibilities. So this story actually was written by my friend, Rabbi Larry Karol. And so I am going to try to have some different backgrounds for us for the story. So hold on one moment, and I will get to the first one. Okay. It was a long journey, or at least it seemed like it anyway. And I guess I was luckier than some of the other animals. Oh, and the people, the family members of our master Noah, our ship's captain. All the birds on the ark took to circling around above the ark on the deck. And we agreed to follow Noah's instructions not to fly too far away when we were stretching our wings, because he said he needed us to stay close by. There used to be land everywhere, trees for nests and plants and some sunshine. And then there was rain and rain and more rain. Would it ever stop? We hated flying in the rain. And then one day it did stop. And Noah sent out my raven friend to see if the waters were still covering everything. And she came back and told me there was no land and there were no trees. Then one day, Noah called to me and he said, "My dear dove, please fly as far as you can and see if there's dry land." So on flight number one, I saw nothing but water except the tops of the highest trees. There was a great view up there, but there was nowhere to set down, no trees to build a nest. So I returned to the ark landing on Captain Noah's hand, his outstretched hand, and it wasn't long before he said to me, "Dear dove, please go out again, fly further and see what you can find." It seemed like I was flying forever. And then I saw them. I saw the olive trees. They even looked familiar. They'd survived the water and they'd lived for hundreds of years and would last even longer. These were the same trees that my dove ancestors had built their nests in long ago. I knew I had to bring something back to Noah. So I went to the tallest, oldest olive tree in the bunch. And I called out, "Olive tree, it's so good to see you again. I used to live in your branches." All of my family did. And the olive tree was excited and said, "Yes, I remember. I'm so glad to see that you're still alive." And the dove asked, "The only people who survived this great flood are on our boat, the ark built by Captain Noah. And he asked me to bring back something to show the waters had receded and land has begun to appear. What can I do?" So the olive tree lifted its highest branch as a gust of wind blew. And the tree showed the dove a small branch full of leaves. "Take this. I'm presenting you with this branch because of the great joy that your family gave me all these years, one generation after another." So the dove thanked the olive tree and gently took that branch in her beak and flew back to the ark, and she took the branch to Captain Noah, and he was ecstatic. An olive branch, the waters are going to go back where they were, where they belong, and it won't be long until we'll be able to go home. So I stayed on the boat back with my family, and then Noah came back to me and said, "Dear dove, I need your service one last time. Please fly as far as you can. And if you don't return in 7 days, I will know that the waters are almost totally receded and that we can make our way back home." So this time I was prepared for a long trip. I went back to the olive tree. And I saw that there was dry land all around. Some of my cousins, my dove cousins, who had found their way to survive the flood in some other way, they came back too. And we were a big family again. And then we saw something incredible. There was a bow in the clouds. It had many colors and it was beautiful and bright. And the olive tree said that he could see the colors of his trunk and his branches and his leaves in the rainbow. And then he said, "Dear dove, I can see the color of your eyes in the rainbow too." And then a voice spoke to both of us. "Dear olive tree and dove, I brought you together a long time ago so that you could teach humans an important lesson. Dove, on your flight from the ark, you found the same olive tree that had given you and your family a home. In olive tree, you let the dove take one of your branches back to the ark. I told Captain Noah that the rainbow was a sign I would not destroy the earth again with the waters of the flood. Dear dove, many, many years from now, people will read about you carrying the olive branch and giving it to Noah. They will see it as a symbol of peace and of cooperation. And so it is, because you and the olive tree trusted and cared for each other and about each other. And rainbow's many colors will remind the descendants of Noah and his family that people may be different from each other, but they can always find ways to live together in harmony and in peace. Thank you, because this is a lesson I learned from the two of you." So the olive tree and I gazed at the rainbow, and then we looked at one another, and I could feel those branches embracing me. And he said, "Dear dove, welcome home." So that is our story for today. And I don't know which background I should have for Havdalah. I guess I can keep the olive tree. I thought of a couple other stories, and I think I used the one about the rainbow of feathers last year. But Mark Gellman has written some great ones in his book, Does God Have a Big Toe?, which I've also told before. So I figured this was a nice one after a change of pace. So let me get the Havdalah blessings and all of that in the chat so that we'll be ready to do all of the blessings together. It's sort of funny that it has to be in 2 installments, but that's the only way it seems to work. So I'll get the first bunch up there, and then we'll get the last part as well. And if I put it in there beforehand, then you don't see it if anyone comes on late. So I have to wait a little bit. So we got that up there as well. So I'm going to keep all of us here in the squares so that we can see one another to make Havdalah. And we'll light the candles. Don't all the wicks, most of the wicks are lit. Okay, now they're all lit. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hakafen borei peri hakafen. Take a sip of our wine of juice. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. And I was thinking, as long as it still smells fresh, I would also, from under the olive tree, bring my etrog and I take the opportunity to smell the sweetness of the etrog another week. And now for the candle for the light. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei me'orei ha'esh borei me'orei ha'esh. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamavdil ben kodesh lechol ben or lechol moshech ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei ha'maseh. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. So we take one more moment just to savor those last moments of Shabbat. Warmth, the sweetness, the smell, the taste. And then we put our candles out and our wine or juice. And we sing together Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi, Vimhera V'Yamenu Yavo Eleinu, Imashiach ben David, Imashiach ben David, Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hakiladi. I invite you all to unmute so that we can sing together Shavua Tov. Shavua Tov, 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 a good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. We wish everyone a Shavua Tov, a good week, a peaceful week. And now it actually is getting dark while we have make Havdalah, which it wasn't for a while. And we say goodbye to everyone on Facebook, and we'll see you next Friday night or next Saturday night.